All right. Can you hear me now? Let's see about the audio. Okay, I'm seeing yay audio. I figured it out. I misunderstood how audio channels on Twitch work. I was speaking earlier. Local alien does not know how to work technology. Damn it. It's true. I am once again hiding. I got embarrassed because it didn't really work out the first time. But we're good. Take two. Take two. Okay. We're off to a fantastic start. I was like, all right, I'm going to very carefully check out all of the audio, make sure there's no issues when the stream starts, and that's kind of happened. Fair warning as well. Before I keep talking, actually, let me kind of get up here so I can talk to all of y'all. Hello. No, I actually talked quite extensively about, we're starting the stream off strong, talking about piss and the piss cam. There's not a piss cam, by the way. That's not why I was underneath the window. There will be no piss cam. I'm sorry to disappoint anyone who is excited about that. I'm pretty sure that's against TOS. I don't think that's very legal in the eyes of this website. I wanted piss. You need to go to a different website for that. There is no fans. There is no different other website. This is where I am. This is where I will stay. Well, welcome everybody. How's everybody doing today on this wonderful Saturday afternoon? There will not be a poop cam either. This is awful. We're off to a fantastic start talking about the pee and poop cams, respectively. That's sort of the tone we're setting for the rest of the stream. Wonderful. It's okay. I forgive you. My opinions. I don't know. They're whatever, I guess. I didn't know that I needed to have an opinion on such a thing. Let's change the subject here. I think I'm done talking about poo poo pee pee today. Kind of scrungly today. I'm sorry about that. Tricked. It's not a banned topic. It's just that's not relevant to the conversation right now. I think that the alliteration, the way that the words pee pee poo poo sound in that order, are better than the former option, Aoife. My mile time. I haven't measured my mile time in a while. It's probably pretty all right. I've been working out. I've been going on bike rides. It's probably pretty decent. I haven't done that in a while. I used to, a long time ago, I probably could have told you that in any given time down to the millisecond. But not so today. But welcome in, everybody. Glad to see everybody's here. It's been fun with talking about all of the exciting topics that you've brought to me today. But I'm here on a mission, you see. This is the first stream. This is the traditional debut for VTubers and PNG tubers, right? it's just for fun. I might have copied homework from some people, but I made sure to change it enough to make it different. So I don't know. I'm glad that things seem to be working now. It may have taken a second to get it ready, but all right. I think that we're ready to begin. Just one more time, officially welcome everybody. This is a very, very, very exciting day for me. Mic muted at the beginning was a jump scare. It happens. I was prepared for something to go wrong. I like first time chat humorous homunculus. What the poop? I see that highlighted, by the way. That is your legacy. That's the first chat you've ever sent, and it's the first chat. It will always be there. It's your crowning achievement. I want you to know that. This is dirt on your soul. Poop right down to the soul. Unfortunate. I'm glad that we know that we have a very mature and refined audience today. Welcome. My name is Rhys Kaiser. In case you weren't aware already, it's on the channel. But today is kind of a day where I'm going to tell you all about me and what I plan to be doing, right? Really, we're going to have some fun here. Sorry, who are you? Already forgotten. That's okay. If you don't know who I am, then this is actually, you're in the right place. This is the perfect opportunity, the perfect pivot to switch to there we go. Might take me a second to show up sometimes. Oh, there I am. Hello, everybody. Bet you're wondering why I've gathered you here today. This is a little presentation that I've made so everybody can get to know me. That's sort of standard debut fare, is it not? We're all, a lot of us at least are familiar enough with VTubers to know that's the deal. Rhys Kaiser did not die. I'm still alive. I'm pretty sure that's a little bit of a confusing topic for me. You'll understand why in a little bit. I'm pretty sure that I'm alive. Like maybe like 90 something. I want to say low 90s. So I checked my heartbeat recently. Yeah, seems to be okay. It's a funny thing about my heartbeat. I kind of had a lot of caffeine before the stream today to get ready. That's sort of my preparation ritual. Where's my pulse? In my body. Duh. It lives entirely localized within my wrist and neck. Caffeine of choice? Drinking... Wow, that's a tough question. I've been drinking lots of different kinds of caffeine. I like coffee, tea, energy drinks, gamer sups. Not sponsored. That's not a sponsored thing. I do like Dr. Pepper. I also like Mountain Dew. I actually have water here with me today. I'm drinking like normal, regular water. Because I think if I had any more caffeine, I might actually die. But I don't know. We'll get into that. We'll get into that later. Normal water. Yeah, it's normal water streamer days. All right. I think I've stalled for long enough. Let's get right onto it. Aquafina sponsor. That would be cool. They would never. Going right along. In case you still weren't aware somehow, my name is Rhys Kaiser, and if you weren't aware what the stream was, this is my debut. I had to make sure that it was on the title. This is everything you need to know about me, who I am, what I plan to do, all of that cool stuff. So let's go ahead and get started with a little bit about me. As well, in parentheses, you might see 11. Lots of people call me 11. It's on my patch, as you can see. An artist's rendition of my unit patch because it's already on my jacket. I didn't feel like taking a picture of my jacket for this. So I had to someone draw that, and you know, it might still be a recreation anyway. I'll explain more about that in a little bit. So you can call me Rhys Kaiser. Lots of people might call me 11, but I'm sort of trying to turn a new leaf. Rhys is my name. I might as well use it. Titles. I just kind of like to think about this as job titles more than anything. My gun. Yes, we'll get to that in a moment. But things that I have done. I put down mailman because that's one of the closest analogs I feel like. Nicknamed 11 because he's 5'11". I don't know why people laugh at that. I don't know why people laugh at the fact that I'm 5'11". Is that some kind of Earth joke? No one's explained to me why that is. It is an Earth meme. Thank you, Eva. All right. I'm still understanding lots. Short. 5'11" is hardly short. That's pretty close to the average height of a human on planet Earth. Any male not 6 foot plus is short. Well, that's just quite ridiculous. I'm like one imperial inch shorter than 6 foot. Right? I'm probably 6 foot with my boots on. Streamer did not poop his pants. Thank you, Mr. Erp. That first time chat. All the first time chats today have been about poop. I think that's a wonderful legacy for my debut stream. You can't smelled it. You're not here. You can't smelled it, Mr. Erp. All right. My name is Rhys Kaiser. People call me 11. These are people that usually that I worked with before. They might be familiar with me. So if you hear someone saying that, that is not just them randomly yelling out a number or related to my height. That is actually an alias I went by. Sillius are very fond of numbers. We'll get more into that in just a bit. Where was I? Talking about my titles. Wow, this took a turn. Titles, once again, they're like job titles. In the past, I've been essentially a glorified mailman. They had me working the North Sillius Armed Postal Services, as you can see by my remaining dog tag. Don't ask me what happened to the other one. I'll explain about that kind of vaguely in a little bit. Just don't worry about it. But right, I ended up on the Armed Postal Services delivering intelligence and letters of whatever, junk mail. The mail that I've been delivered before goes from kind of slightly important to recipient will toss upon seeing. But that's sort of due to my experience on the planet where I'm from. Big surprise, I'm not actually from Earth. I was born on a planet called Sillius. I will not be telling you where it is, because frankly, I don't think they're ready to see people from Earth. I think that they would be shocked and confused, and they might even capture and interrogate you. So, it's for a military advantage, you must understand. Now, I will not be streaming from Sillius. I kind of can't really go back there. Long story. But my experience on Sillius was as a courier, a motorcycle courier specifically. There's lots of sand on Sillius. What makes me different from other solutions? I don't really believe in that whole military-industrial complex thing they got going on. Sillius is what I've learned is that it's called on Earth as a military autocracy, which I thought was just kind of the normal way of life. Once you are 12 years of age, you are drafted into service, and that your role and specific time served may change depending on your aptitude and whether or not your parents racked up any service debt. Thanks very much. Appreciated it, Mom and Dad. Yes, 12 years of age, right? I'm told that's kind of frowned upon here. But by the time I was a teenager, I learned how to ride a motorcycle for my job. I think I have a copy. I still have a copy of my report here. Let me... For my assignment... Let's see. All right, yes. It says right here, found to excel at nothing in particular. So that's kind of a glowing recommendation. You know, a sort of glowing commendation from the brass back home. So I was relegated to busy work. I was given a handgun, which I still have. That's one of the only things that I carried with me back from home. It's registered to somebody. I don't know who. That doesn't really matter. But that gun would become useful after I sort of found a way off the planet, ran into some mercenaries on a trip, misplaced my package, would probably be summarily executed for going back. So I decided might as well take the road less traveled and get off this rock. And sure enough, those were some of the most fun years of my entire life, cruising around space with a bunch of ragtag mercenaries. I didn't really understand how things worked at the time, but that really changed my perspective on things, and life was good. I still wasn't very good in a firefight. I didn't really get the formal combat training that frontline troops did. Where am I located now? Yeah, I'm not... Okay, wait. We can talk about this. Let's not tell the Solutions how I'm here. They probably don't have the technology by themselves to get over here anyway. They'd have to make contact with somebody else. But luckily for you, I'm not telling you where they are. What said he wasn't? Well, there was a sort of implication there, wasn't there? Anyway, let's get going on. I've had no indication that anybody is on their way. But yeah, cruising around the stars. Some of the most fun years of my life. That was a great time. Until one day, something happened. I don't really remember exactly what happened. But what I know for sure is I took something really mean to the torso, like some kind of plasma bolt or something. And that's the last thing I remember before I woke up here. I met some like odd bird. Right? Maybe you'll understand who that is in a while. A good friend of mine now. Where I also ended up meeting Aoife and learned that magic is apparently real. That's something that I have to grapple with. I'm pretty sure magic's what brought me back to life as well. I don't know. It's kind of... It's a lot to think about, right? That is what the Birdman used? Okay, just glad that I have confirmation. Magic is real, everybody. The government maybe doesn't want you to know that, but it sure is. That's the reason why I'm here. I've just been informed. But after that, I'm not really interested in dying again. I certainly can't serve with anybody here because of, well, I'm kind of a literal illegal alien as far as Earth is concerned, particularly the United States. So especially don't tell the United States about me, pretty please. I know if I wanted to lay low, maybe the path of streaming is pretty notorious, but I mean, I don't know. Who's gonna report me, right? Right? Nobody here is gonna report me, right? Okay. Thank you for the confirmation. I'm glad that we kind of can come to an agreement. Your baby sister might be getting a view of the debut right now. Well, hello there. I'm glad that you are exposing your baby sister to such fine media and culture. Anyway, getting back to the topic on hand, that's sort of enough about me and my backstory. I've decided, I don't know, I like playing video games and shooters. And talking to people is something that I've enjoyed a lot. That was part of my job that I enjoyed, and part of doing what I did in space for a while. So I figured this is as good a step as any to live a peaceful life away from conflict, at least in real life. Getting on to my age and birthday. There's question marks next to those for a reason. The reason is we have different solar cycles on Silius and on Earth. I kind of had to do some math to think about exactly how old I would be in Earth years, and I think 23 is about that amount. I just kind of decided to pick a day I liked, the 19th of February. It's sort of in the middle of the Northern Hemisphere's winter season. 23 is not that old. 23 is not that old. Come on now. On my way to hag status. Wow. Unk. I feel like I've got plenty of mileage. I don't know. That's just me. Feel confident in all of that. And obviously, I was born on Silius, and there's a couple little flares. As you may have noticed, I resemble an Earth fox. Everybody on Silius does. I didn't think it was that odd, but I kind of got some interesting comments that sort of led me into this general community. Had to start hiding those prominent features of myself. I learned very quickly. Yes, actually, which I find to be odd because isn't the furry subculture about dressing up instead of being... I know that's an oversimplification. I've been explained to this before. Streamer estimates his age, secretly doesn't want to admit he's old. Well, I don't know what to say to that one. I did my best. Maybe I might have made a rounding error or something. But that's a little bit about me. It's the kind of the person that I am. Going right along. Brief sort of summary of my likes and dislikes. I've come to understand a lot of things on my time on Earth, and I have a pretty good idea of the things that I am a fan of and I'm not a fan of. Start with the likes. I like shooters, right? Video games are one of the coolest things that I've discovered on this planet. And I'm going to have a fun time playing as many of those as I can. Specifically, if the game has a gun in it, I'm more likely to play it just because, see the last option. We'll get down to there. Forgot to put pooping and peeing on the lists. I told you, those are all right. I don't really feel that strongly about either one. I don't think that they're notable enough to put on a list. Where do they go on the list? They don't go on the list. They don't go on either list. We're not talking about this today. I'm also a big fan of nature. I spent a lot of time out in nature back when I did courier work. Mostly deserts on Silius, so the forest on Earth is kind of a new topic to me. It's something that I've kind of been drawn to. Which kind of goes right along into some other things you'll see in a while. But I love nature. I've spent a lot of time out in nature. I have a good appreciation for it. Tinkering, I've had to kind of fix a lot of things. And I kind of enjoy the mechanical aspect of things. I like when things are consisting of several moving parts. Each have their own function. It's sort of like it's a little bit like you could relate it to a unit. in a military or otherwise. And that's just sort of a good analogy that I've found. I don't know. There's something that's neat about that to me. Things that have specific purposes that work together. In addition to these things, I play guitar. I like playing guitar a whole lot. We had something similar to a guitar even on Siluse. So that sort of translated very quickly. And music is something that I'm quite fond of as well. I listen to all sorts of music, and finding out what music was like on Earth. Spoiler alert, it's not very different on Siluse, right? Music kind of develops similarly wherever you are. Specific, I don't know, there's not really certain kinds of music there, really. Things like punk music, that wouldn't fly on Siluse. Anything anti-establishment is kind of obliterated instantly. Opinions on K-pop? K-pop's like alright. I think for me it really depends. Just like anything, I can listen to about any kind of music. It depends on whether or not it fits against my specific background of tastes. Caffeine. I'll be completely honest, from my service and from my life here on Earth, I've been completely addicted to caffeine, physically, mentally, and emotionally. Opinions on Grant McDonald. Wasn't that the guy that did the Ram Ranch songs? Grant McDonald's pretty cool. But yes, I'm physically, mentally, emotionally addicted to caffeine. We had sort of something that was the same or similar, chemically made up on Siluse. It was issued to me standard. I didn't have a choice but to take it. But I didn't really mind because it made me feel normal. And since then, it has just developed into a problem. I would say that Ram Ranch really rocks. Feel free to quote me on that. Thank you, humorous homunculus. But I love caffeine. I love coffee. I love tea. Energy drinks. Both store-bought and powder variants. Soda's delicious, right? Earth food is actually really good. I think you could put Earth food sort of on my likes. Right, we didn't really have scrumptious food back on Siluse the way that it is here. And of course, sort of biggest on the list is guns. I love guns. Any kind of gun, really. Especially ones that fire bullets. Really, Siluse technology is kind of very similar to World War I and II era technology. So coming here and finding all of the really advanced stuff was definitely a bit of a culture shock. Given my already developed love of tinkering and the mechanical, sort of fell right into it. So guns are something that I've always had an appreciation for mechanically, and just because they're freaking awesome. Definitely one of my favorite things. Now we'll get into my dislikes, right? Sort of as a general preface, it's okay if you like one of these things. They're just not for me. But I think we can all agree that faulty cables, nobody likes those, right? Sort of trying to put something, plug something in, put something together, only to find that your cable is shorting. That's the bane of my existence. It's been the bane of my existence since I started messing with cables. Moral of the story, nobody likes them. They're one of my pet peeves. Vaping. I think vaping is frankly ridiculous. No harm, no foul if you do it. But I think that vaping is, as a concept, is quite ridiculous to think about. Smoking, however, well, we'll get into that later. Sort of unpopular opinion, I know. Banned from the Dream Vape rotation. That's fine. I don't mind that I'm banned from the Dream Vape rotation. Prog rock culture, right? I think prog rock, sometimes prog rock can be really cool. I really don't find myself being very fond of people who love prog rock. I want to talk to you about prog rock all the time. If I have to hear another person talking about how much they love Tool, or how or any drummers talk about the octuple quintuplets or whatever that they enjoy playing, just get out of here, man. Get out of here. I sort of find myself being more aligned with simple music. What differentiates prog rock from other forms? Well, from my understanding, prog rock is more about the musical prowess of its players, and sometimes that's really neat. I'm a big fan of people who are really good at that stuff, but that becomes the focus more so than the music to me. That would be my explanation. I think it's cooler to focus on the music itself. Nerds. Yeah, also nerds. Night shifts. They're not for me. Night shifts make me depressed. I don't hate nerds. In fact, I think I am sort of what would be considered an earth nerd. I think the concept and word is still very silly. But anyway, night shifts. Never been a fan. They kind of make me depressed. Generally, I enjoy there being sunshine out if I'm awake and active. If it's nighttime, I don't mind it being nighttime. I just don't want to be working at night. I want to be enjoying the nighttime, right? That's sort of my take on it. And also coming home after a night shift, that's just a little depressing sometimes, right? I did not say night shits, right? You can read it up here on the on the board. That would not be on the list. I don't really have a strong opinion about those. I'd rather be howling at the moon. Hey, that's just a stereotype. Not even the correct animal, really, but I don't know. I've gotten that a couple of times. Wearing shorts. You will not catch me dead in shorts unless it is time to go swimming. Because I would rather be wearing shorts than nothing at all. And wearing pants to go swimming is frankly ridiculous as well. But I don't know, if you were to look at me in the wild wearing shorts, for some reason my legs would be very, very pale, like vampire pale. We're talking here. The moral of the story, I don't wear shorts, like, ever. Except for when I'm swimming. And it's very, very visible that I don't wear shorts in that instance. The only shorts I could somewhat stand are, like, basketball shorts and cargo shorts. Those at least feel better to me than other varieties of short. Seems like a skill issue. Not my fault that you can't just wear normal pants whenever it's warm outside. Seems like your skill issue, perhaps. Finally, doom scrolling. I don't know. I think that generally people don't enjoy the fact that when they realize that they're doom scrolling, but lots of people do like doom scrolling. It makes me depressed. I try to avoid things that make me depressed. So night shifts, doom scrolling. Right, so I sort of promote for myself a quote-unquote healthier mental lifestyle in that sense. That's just the way that my brain works. But again, my brain was brought up sort of in a autocratic background, so do with that what you will, right? The free American brain might be different from mine. You wear a heavy coat in 100-degree weather. That to me is a bit insane. That to me is a little bit insane. But I understand. It takes durability to do something like that. I don't know. I think I'm kind of with most people where I prefer to be a specific temperature, whatever that temperature is, typically warmer. Grew up in the desert. It is comfy. Trust. Well, I kind of did too. Depends on the time of day. We weren't exactly given the greatest clothes for our standard issue uniforms, etc. Right. That's a quick overview. Maybe some things that I'm a fan of, things that I'm not a fan of. And right along, things that I'm very much a fan of. This is my favorites, right? Whoever invented Earth Pizza deserves a medal. They deserve to have a golden statue built of them in a public place where people can leave offerings. That's my take. I think it's one of the greatest foods ever invented in the whole universe. And I've seen a lot of foods, right? Earth Pizza, number one. The Italians. Well, like maybe the specific Italian, right? I don't know if it's like the whole country, but Italian food is very good. Wasn't the guy that invented pizza an American, from what I hear? Crash Landing in America has definitely formed my view of the world. The inventor of pizza is in chat right now. I'd like to shake your hand. You've done an amazing thing. Generations after you will remember. Build a statue of Kim Afra. My favorite color, forest green. Right? Remember I was talking about how I loved the forests? There wasn't a whole lot of interesting colors of green back home, so this is something that I'm quite fond of. I've enjoyed spending time in the forest. Forest green, the color of a forest. That's my favorite. Right? I incorporate some of those sort of muted greens into basically every part of my presentation as well as my jacket. Yeah, that's my favorite color. My favorite animals. I'm a big fan of snakes and wolves. I think those guys are pretty chill. I saw a lot of snake-like creatures back on Sileus. Not many wolves though. Kind of too warm for them generally there. Generally, I don't know. Snakes. If you're not a fan of snakes, you typically, if you just respect them, they'll respect you. I think they're quite cute actually. Wolves are pretty cool. I didn't put foxes on here because that almost feels like I'm like giving big ups to my cousin. Right? It's sort of, that feels a bit strange. It's like saying my favorite animal is my cousin. I don't really know what to do with that one. That's not true. I don't hate foxes. It's just like I don't want to. It feels strange to put that in my favorite animals. So grappling that there is an animal that is very much like a Silusian that just lives on this planet. And I sort of have to feel a certain kinship with that. It's very difficult. It's very complex. It's okay, dude. I hate chimpanzees. They're scary. I guess, wait, yeah, humans are vaguely related to primates, right? So I guess that technically a chimpanzee might be like your cousin. So I think you might understand what I'm getting at here. My favorite season is autumn. Once again, there is absolutely nothing like autumn back home, or at least back where I'm from. I think this is more my home now. But back where I'm from, we didn't really have seasons like they have here. We had a wet and a dry season back home. Now you kind of do in some parts in the world here, but in a deciduous forest, the leaves begin to change. That's something that I did not experience before coming here, and that's one of my favorite things that I've discovered about this place. My favorite firearm, my favorite gun after that, right, that had to be on this list somewhere. The good old FN-FAL. The Belgians, they certainly know how to make a stylish rifle. It's just rustic enough, but just advanced enough that I'll take a look at that and think that is the coolest thing I've ever seen. Honorable mentions include the AK family. How do Earth guns compare to Soyuz guns? Well, let me tell you, they sure work better, right? They work a whole lot better on Earth. Back on Soyuz, we typically drill and train with, I guess the system would be called a bolt action, or there's a couple of semi-automatic handguns. That's what I was issued with, sort of a heavy frame semi-automatic striker-fired handgun. Similar to an Earth Rothsteyr 1907. So that should tell you about the age that most Solution firearms are in comparison to Earth firearms. We still have mounted cavalry, though our cavaliers typically ride motorcycles instead of any kind of animals like they did here on Earth. So I was technically a part of a cavalry type regiment. I received some cavalry training. I was issued a cavalry sidearm, but I was designated to rear echelon postal work. And really, if you think every single service in Soyuz is affiliated with the military, right? The armed postal services, that's not really something I've found an analog to here on this planet. Doesn't the U.S. Postal Service have some kind of an agency attached to it, though? I think I heard about that. I'm pretty sure that messing with the mail is kind of a very serious offense here. So big ups to those guys. But everything's affiliated with the military on Soyuz. It's kind of refreshing to be able to actually be a civilian for once. Right, now that we've talked a bit about some of my favorite objects, talk a little bit more about my favorite media. I've been introduced to anime, a specific art form and media form here on Earth. Once again, it was giant culture shock coming here and realizing that all of this, and realizing all the different kinds of media that were here. Entertainment was something we didn't have nearly as much of back home. So I found myself kind of catching up, trying to enjoy some things. I thought that Lucky Star, Kino's Journey, and Black Lagoon were kind of my favorite of this group. Black Lagoon is nothing short of badass. Highly recommend checking that out if you haven't already. And very awesome action anime. Kino's Journey is something that I affiliate with a whole lot. I sort of, as someone who spent a lot of time alone on a motorcycle, I definitely talked to my motorcycle a lot more than I'd like to admit. Man, I miss that thing. I had to leave it behind. Oh, we had a lot of history together. I'm sure it's somewhere. But I typically think about that. I get very nostalgic for that time in my life whenever I watch Kino's Journey. Right? There's something very romantic about being a lone traveler. I think Kino's Journey captures that really well. Lucky Star is just fun. It's a classic. That's sort of what introduced me to the ridiculous tropes of anime. And I didn't think that I was going to enjoy it, but I very much did. My favorite music, right? I already told you that I was a big fan of music, so seeing this now was definitely also super neat. Learning about all the different artists, the history of music here. It's been fascinating. I'm a big fan of Kino, a former Soviet group. Specifically, I've been listening a lot to Grupa Krovi. I think that's how you pronounce it lately. There's lots of other stuff. I don't know. He's got the Kino has a certain sound to it that I think that is really interesting. The Misfits earth punk music is something that I also quite enjoy. It wasn't anything like that on Still Use either. The electric guitar, first and foremost, is one of the coolest things that I've discovered here on this planet so far. And the way that you use it in music is actually quite awesome, to say the least. In addition to sort of earth music technology, Jabez, this sort of genre of like lo-fi hip hop, things like that. Big fan of that. And of course, you can't be exposed to anime, not be exposed to Vocaloid music. Shout outs to Hatsune Miku and those like her. It's just a very interesting community. And the music is also very interesting. Favorite video games? I've had a lot of time to think about this. The Metal Gear series, very cool, very strange. But I like the stealth action sort of type of game. It's a little bit of a different feel than most Earth shooters, which are all sort of about killing for the sake of killing. There's a place for that. But I enjoy stealth games too, so that's very cool. Specifically PvE Tarkov. I think that I would very much want to avoid a regular PvP Tarkov, but that's just me. Really, it's less to do with the actual game and more the state of it. It's typically not a very good place to be right now, from my understanding. So I've kind of been avoiding it and playing the framework of the game, which is actually quite good. I like the realism about it. It's a quote unquote it's realism. Some things are not very realistic, but it's a more realistic tactical shooter than most out there. Stalker as well, for about all of the same reasons, and it's a very interesting PvE environment. I think generally the genre of game something strange is going down in Soviet Russia is a favorite of mine. So that's something that I enjoy quite a bit. The game Valhalla, it's a visual novel. That's also a thing that I'm learning about. It came to me at a very interesting time in my life. Left an impact on me. Been following the developers ever since. I believe they were coming out with a new game soon. 45 Parabellum Bloodhound. Right? Something like that. Very interested to see what that's going to be about. It's an action game of sorts. Still waiting on Nirvana. Right? Waiting patiently, I should add, but waiting. Favorite movies? I like the James Bond movies. We don't really have anybody who's like a secret agent back on Soyuz that I've been aware of. So it's very entertaining to watch. Even the old ones. If you want my personal recommendation of which one to watch, I think Casino Royale is probably the best one to start with. It's the quintessential James Bond movie. Not like the old ones, but definitely characteristic of the new direction. And it's just a good movie. It's probably the best of the new ones. And Blade Runner. Blade Runner reminds me of home in a strange way, right? They spent a lot of time out in space, meeting lots of people. I don't know, it's very aesthetically a very interesting movie. And the cyberpunk genre is in vogue, so I'm told. My favorite planet, it's Earth. This place is awesome. This is way better than any other place that I've been. It's chill here. You guys are far away from all of that conflict out in the universe. And I'm happy with the peace here. So, big ups to Earth. And everybody on it. Yeah, streamer was indeed weeb confirmed, right? Now, here's the interesting part, right? I'm a streamer now, so what are my plans? What games am I going to stream? Well, I've talked about some of my favorites. Those are in here, specifically Metal Gear Solid 5, The Phantom Pain. I've played through that game a couple of times. It's quite fun. I'm thinking about doing an OSP run, so on-site procurement with mods, because I've played the regular game a couple of times. I want something fresh, something entertaining to watch. That would probably be entertaining. What do you all think? for sort of the interesting twist of on-site procurement, extra challenge. I think that's more entertaining to watch. But these are in my now streaming categories. These are things I'm going to stream imminently. So that's going to be the first big series that I'm going to be doing. Shadows of Doubt. That will actually be what I'm going to stream after this debut. I'm very excited about that. It's going to be fun. It's got a Twitch integration. So there'll be viewers showing up as citizens in the city. Shadows of Doubt would be a fun stream. I'm very much looking forward to that, interacting with all of the users in chat. And potentially some... What do you all think of maybe some Civ 5 chill streams? Right, sort of, it's sort of like a bordering on a just chatting kind of thing, where I'm just going through the motions of a Civilization game. We can have a conversation about stuff. That's something that I would like to do. I think that would be fun. But there's a question mark, because I don't know if you all would want that. Let me know. I'm very interested in some feedback. Now, future streams is where it gets very interesting, right? I've got a lot of cool future stream ideas kitted up here in a list for you. Specifically, there's 2 games I plan on playing through with friends, some of whom are here. The Terraria Calamity mod and Monster Hunter Rise. Both games that I have played through all the way before. Well, actually, I don't think I've ever fully beaten the Calamity mod, but I've gotten pretty darn close. But that'll be with friends. That'll be sort of a multiplayer series. So I'm excited to get started on that. Squad will be multiplayer and single player, potentially. Squad's just a whole lot of fun. Lots of interesting things you can get up there, too. I'm a big fan of the Irregular Militia. And they just added a brand new faction recently in a huge update. The Western Private Military Contractor faction. That's going to be a lot of fun. So I'm excited to have some squad streams. Might be more difficult to focus on chat during those. Because of all the things that are going on, but I will do my best, right? Chat has already been getting on to me for hating them for some reason, because I'm not looking at them exactly when it's there, but I do my best. I'm working on it. Right? I'm new to this whole streaming thing. I do love you, chat. I don't hate you. Please don't. Please don't take it that way. Oh, it's already happening. All right, let's move on quickly. Valheim. I haven't played the Ashlands update at all. I'm very excited to do a Valheim playthrough. I'm a big fan of survival games, and Valheim, it speaks to me. Font, believe him. What font is that? That's crazy. Valheim. Gonna be a lot of fun. Maybe with friends. We'll see. Depends on whether or not I can get someone to consistently play through Valheim with me. Some Stalker, definitely in the future. Probably Stalker Anomaly, because Stalker Anomaly is the most complete. There's some updates for the Anomaly game as well. Potentially even multiplayer is coming out at one point. It's crazy, right? That game is held together with duct tape, and they're trying to tape even more stuff to it. But generally, I'm pretty excited about that, and that's why I've taped up the. That's why I've taped up this little picture here. I think that perfectly sums up sort of the experience I'm looking for. Arma 3. We'll get back to Arma 3 in a little bit, and Satisfactory is on here too. I play Satisfactory a little differently than some people. I like to figure out problems as I go. So if you get easily frustrated, my Satisfactory streams might not be for you. That's if you're a Satisfactory veteran. But I treat it like a puzzle game. I like to sort of adapt things as I go. And that would be another sort of chill stream where I'm talking to chat a whole lot while trying to solve the puzzle, build a factory. The Arma 3 long-form content. Let's talk about that for a second. Arma 3 has a lot of different sort of campaign-style things you can set up, thanks to the Zeus-type interactions and also the game modes people have made, like Anastasi. I'm excited for some kind of long-form content like Anastasi, potentially. I've been really hankering for some Arma 3, and I've been talking with some folks maybe about getting that set up. So look forward to potentially some long-form Arma 3 content. Those will be some long streams, lots of people, very dynamic streams. That's going to be a whole lot of fun. But these are the plans that I have. Now streaming games obviously are going to be getting attention first. You could maybe move Satisfactory into now streaming because I'm definitely thinking more and more that that's something that I want to do. All the future streams are not really scheduled. Next stream's definitely going to be Shadows of Doubt, followed by some Phantom Pain, if I can get that set up. If not, more Shadows of Doubt, possibly Satisfactory, move it over there. Any of the future streams can be moved over to now streaming whenever things align properly. Working with what we have. I look forward to these kind of games, right? A couple last things, right? Tags. This is just a little fun thing for all of you. From here on in, I'm going to start using the live tag Rhys's Live whenever I'm going up. Streaming. An art tag. If you for some reason draw any fan art of me, that would be the place to put it. That would ensure that everyone who's looking for it can see it, and I can see it as well, right? Of course, I will definitely. If you want to showcase anything like that on the stream, I'm always open to that. You can send me an email or directly contact me if you can. The Oshi mark, right? If you want to rep Rhys Kaiser in your Discords, in your Twitters or whatever, you can put a little motorcycle next to your name. I'm going to do that with my own Twitter profile here after a while. You can find me on Twitter at Rhys Kaiser VT. There's a link on my Twitch channel as well. The fan name, there isn't one at the moment. It's really whatever you want. I'm not your dad. I figured it might be fun for everybody here maybe to come up with a fan name, if that's something that would be fun. I know, what do you all think? Do we have any ideas? That might just be a fun thing that viewers could do to bond together. If you have a fan name idea or a name you'd like me to call you, aside from chat, make some suggestions. My Foxhounds, that's a little verbose. Potentially fun, though. I do like that, right? The furries. I don't know. I think that's too broad of a name, isn't it? That might not go over real well with everybody as well. I think Foxhounds is pretty cool. Thank you, Humorous Homunculus. The furries, I'm going to veto that one though. I think that also something related to the mail carrier idea, potentially kind of cool, right? I'd love to hear some ideas from this, right? I think like start brainstorming. Love to hear all about that. But now we also have a picture I posted here. That was just one. I think it's kind of funny looking at it in retrospect, but it's one of the nicest pictures of me out there, so I figured I'd put it up. Vixen feels a little charged. Vixen feels a little charged, right? Yeah, I understand how that one could be. But this picture is great. And the credit for it is, of course, below. Speaking of credit, credits, right? This entire setup, this stream, everything leading up to this would not have been possible without some support and contributions from many people that I hold very dear. So especially all the artwork that you've seen, all the assets, all the pictures. There's a reference image of me. It was done by Leviathotep, who I believe is also going to start streaming soon. Some Stardew Valley. If anyone's interested in that, definitely go over that way. I'll provide a link to the channel whenever I get one. You can check my probably my Twitter for that. I'll probably post that sort of as a thanks, but I also have a stream overlay. You haven't seen it yet because we've been in this debut. There's an overlay done by my good friend Eva Zera, who's also streams on Twitch. There's the link right there. So shout out to Aoife and Leviathotep. And one additional special thanks to the citizens of Vitopia. You all know exactly who you are. None of this would have been possible without your support. So thank you. It really does mean the world to me. Everything. Everybody listed here. Could not have done any of this without all of you. So thank you very much. And with all of that, thank you very much for sticking around through this presentation, getting to know me getting to know all of you a little bit better. And we'll have some streams, even including one stream later tonight after a little while. We're going to be playing some Shadows of Doubt with chat integration. So if you're in the chat, you will appear in game. That's going to be a whole lot of fun. Very, very excited about all of that. Thank you, everybody, for being here. Fantastic. All right. Whew. That is a tremendous weight off of my chest, right? Let's switch back over to here so I can see all of you once again. Hello, chat. All right. Yeah, if anyone thinks of any cool ideas for maybe a fan name, feel free to mention them in chat. Because we will be back here later for Shadows of Doubt, right? And I'll say maybe about 30 minutes to an hour, something like that. Around then, give me a time to take a little break, get refreshed. You're late to work, and it's my fault. Come up with the name Kits. I can maybe get with that. What does everybody think of that? Have you sort of decide amongst yourselves? Maybe we should have a poll. I don't know. Maybe I'll take a couple of the suggestions that I get from these streams and go and put them into a poll. Maybe on my Twitter we can go over that yet. New watchers are for sure Kits. All right, I have to kind of make a note of that. It does feel like a little off. I kind of agree. But it does kind of have that sort of that fan name thing. I don't know. I'll do a poll on it. This is sort of a decision for chat for me. I couldn't think of any names that I felt very strongly about. Cowards. All right. On Bird app, they're a paid feature. Wow. Just like editing your tweet is a paid feature. That's also a paid feature, by the way. Ridiculous. Anybody who's actually looking at some updates from my account probably knows that. I got a little frustrated with not including very important information about the time of this stream. Thanks, Tesla Man, for that one. Very much appreciate that. Not really. But one more time, thank you all for coming here. I'll take a quick break, and we'll reconvene for some Shadows of Doubt here. Let's say about 4:30. 4:30 CST. So maybe about 15-20 minutes thereabouts. I'll go ahead and turn on the BRB screen until then. We'll take a short break and come back for the first gaming stream. All right, I'll see everybody then.